Warning, this podcast contains Morgan.
Spoiler. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Walking Dead Season 5 finale, Conquer. I'm your host, Clio. With me, I have John's that way.
I guess.
Dom.
How's it going?
At Michele.
What up?
How is this as far as season finales go?
One of the worst.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Intense areas, I thought. Good.
It was amazing.
He couldn't even keep a straight face. No, this was really good.
Really good, I thought.
I think it wrapped it up pretty well,
I didn't even need...
but left enough cliffhanging that we know stuff's gonna go down next season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was about the 60-minute mark in. We had the extra half hour to go, and I was just like, because I was feeling, alright, this is kind of close to the end, and I forgot for a minute it was a 90-minute episode. But I was like, this has kind of been a pretty lackluster finale up to this point. So it's like all the super crazy, intense action was held for like the last 30 minutes. All the like game-breaking, ground-changing things, you know.
You didn't see that happen? You didn't see that?
Well, yeah, but it was a much slower build-up than usual. It was because of the extra 30 minutes. But yeah.
I didn't even notice, honestly, the extra half hour.
I didn't notice that.
In a good way.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Set it up.
Girl gonna laugh at me. I was having a literal heart attack when Glenn was holding back the walker that was on top of him. Because I legitimately thought he was gonna die, so I fast-forwarded 30 minutes of the episode to make sure he didn't die, and then I went back and watched the episode as it should have been. But I was just like, no.
I will not accept this in my reality.
Because it cut from Glenn being attacked by a walker to Rick, and I'm like, Rick, I don't even care about you right now. Not even a little.
Well,
I thought right when he got shot, I was like, son of a bitch, he dies already just by that. Like, quick, boom, alright.
Oh no, I knew he got hit in the shoulder. I knew he wasn't down.
well, you got to remember something like that. They're not going to do an off-camera death for a major character like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So someone like Glenn is going to deserve a nice, big, gory baseball bat to the skull kind of death.
How oddly specific of you to bring
That's
that
not
up.
gonna happen because what's his name already made a joke about it. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, it
Not
will.
to say that it won't happen, but
No, it's not gonna happen like that. We can pretty much say with certainty since.
I mean, it doesn't have
What
to.
is his name?
Negan.
No. The
Glenn?
writer, the creator, the guy who was on at midnight that made that joke.
J.K. Rowling.
I'm moving on. Anyway, speaking of
Stephanie Meyer.
Oh, God. All right.
John Peters, you know, the farmer.
speaking of people who aren't actually dead, Morgan.
Christian Grey.
I don't even want to do the show anymore. That's it.
Alright.
We lost our hope.
I don't want to do the show anymore. I have string cheese in my pocket. I'm gonna eat that. You guys can talk about Morgan.
Well, so
not dead.
I was extremely worried. So for the exact reason that Clio was worried about Glenn is we had just got analyzing that picture from last week, right? We just sat there, we were looking at that. Right. And then while this thing, I didn't get to watch it live. I was actually at Pat and Michelle's house. We were watching WrestleMania, and I came home and watched it after. Before we started watching WrestleMania, our friend Steve was there, and we're sitting there and we're talking to him, and I started explaining the theory about Morgan, and then we got to talking, and I'm like, the episode's totally going to open with a Morgan flashback, and it's going to be to how he died and all that, and then the episode opens with Morgan, and it's like he's about to die, and I'm like, no, I don't even want to watch this anymore. Like, I got so mad, like.
No, it's true, but
And then, yeah.
Dude, when did he learn how to be, like, you know, Donatello from the Ninja Turtles.
He's a badass monk.
Funny enough that you should mention that.
Yeah.
He was on The Talking Dead, and he explained that he was trained by the guy who did Donatello's bow in the Ninja Turtle movie.
Yeah. He was taught by Donatello.
So, literally.
Isn't it ironic?
So yeah, that I was my heart was just like no. Don't do it.
Please don't die. Please
Don't kill my Morgan.
Please don't die.
They played us like sons of bitches though.
They did.
Like they totally did. They knew that we were gonna be like, oh no, the fans are gonna know. They've done this to us before.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't have thought that it was a flashback if you guys hadn't been like, oh, that's his corpse. He's totally dead.
Yeah. Do you think the whole point of that was that they put those in there for us specifically, the hardcore fans, to like overanalyze things?
Yeah.
Yes.
To throw us off, definitely.
Because it was just very oddly specific, like that ring, you know, the sunglasses, and I know Clio had mentioned that it didn't exactly look like his sunglasses. Well, his sunglasses were in the episode, and I looked at them side by side comparison again. I pulled up that picture we were looking at on our phone. It's the exact same pair of sunglasses.
It didn't look like it to me.
So it was just like I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the show. You pulled the good old bait and switch.
Yep.
Gentlemen.
Oh, you guys like to pick out every single scene? Well, here's a red herring. Have fun with that.
Yeah, we have Kevin Marano.
You did it.
In chat. I'm terrible at names. I'm very, very sorry for that. But it says from the looks of it, based on the comics, season 6 is going to be the best season. And I do not disagree with you. This next season is going to be incredible. I'm so excited. I'm more excited for this season than I was coming into like the aftermaths of Terminus from last season.
Well, that's just it. All this build up with this finale, and it's like, okay, now shit's gonna start going down.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between last season's finale and this season's finale is last season was like a sheer cliff, sheer cliff, and this season is sort of like there are some things, but it's not that big of a, like, they're not on death's door, but
no,
bad things. You have more of an uneasy feeling than a oh my god feeling at the end of this season.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was kind of an oh my god, but at the same time, it's like they didn't, because this whole season was are they turning into the people of Terminus? You know, not cannibals, but you know, I mean, metaphorically, yeah, they kind of were turning into cannibals, but
yeah, well, no, I think the fear was they were turning into the people who came and wrecked Terminus.
Right.
So like the people who came into Terminus and turned it into what it was.
Well, I think it was that and the same point of that whole society outside the wall versus society inside the wall mentality, and it's finally to the point that in the wall, outside the wall, it really doesn't matter. You got to be prepared or you're going to die. And it finally gets to that point.
Yeah.
No matter what way you want to baby it, you need to be prepared for whatever comes at you.
Whether this seems safe and secure, it's not.
Yeah. And even with like the town of Alexandria now on the right page, I don't think. I mean, it might not even prepare them fully for what's coming. No. We don't really know what's coming.
We do know what's coming.
We do and we don't, because everything that the wolves have done have been traps.
Yes.
And we still don't know exactly what happened to that the
group
community of houses that Noah's people were from. We still don't actually know what happened.
Well, they chased down Red Riding Hood. What more do you need?
Jeez.
They did. So let's get back to the wolves.
Granted,
almost nothing is solved. They spend the first 5 minutes spouting some Native American cultural appropriation bullshit. Just to prove they're crazy. Just,
as the
hey guys, FYI, we're fucking nuts. Welcome. What'd you guys think of this whole, like, oh yeah, man, the wolves?
I think we didn't get either of their names, right?
No.
Do you think one of them has the potential to be Negan, or do you think that Negan may be part of this group, one of the members we did not see?
I don't know who Negan is. Because like I don't read.
Negan, just without spoiler kind of. I mean, you know about the Glenn thing, but without big kind of spoilers.
Yeah.
Negan is the governor times 1,000.
All right, but probably not, because these guys don't seem like the governor.
They seem like lackeys.
Since Morgan beat the shit out of them with a bow staff.
But do you think that Negan could be in charge of the wolves?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, God,
We've only seen these two asshats, so.
That you bring that up.
I don't know, but it seems like all these guys have been smoking too much peyote.
Well, the way that they act, though, it's very. I could see Negan-esque.
I don't see why it wouldn't be Negan at this point. He's got to be coming very soon, you know. So, I mean, he has to be involved.
I don't see why he has to be involved.
Because of the timeline of just how the comic books went. Like, this is about when he comes around. So don't do the whole. I know the comics are different, but they've been doing this to us for like 3 seasons now. Like, Negan's coming.
Yeah,
he's coming.
Everything else has been pretty spot on with the timelines. So even though yes, they're not following exactly, it's still based on it's severely influenced. So
of course, but
they made they brought in.
A lot of the changes that are coming from the comic book are minor things. Like Woodbury was not named Woodbury in the comics. It was almost exactly the way everything went down. It was the same thing. Then for Alexandria, there was no Deanna, right? It was a
guy.
Yeah, I forget his name now.
Dean.
No,
I forget.
No, but like there was no Deanna. It was this other guy. So it's just like they're just swapping a couple people like in and out and changing names of things. It's overall though, like the plot has actually remained very much the same.
Yeah, but if this season has taught us anything, it's that we're not playing by rules anymore. Nobody's safe. Nothing's safe. It's not going to be like it has been.
Except Glenn. Glenn is safe, right?
No, I was very, very, very afraid. No, he's not safe.
He's only if they're playing baseball. He's safe there, right? He's safe. Safe. He's not out. He's safe.
Nobody is.
Dom, get out of my podcast. Get out. All right. Good. Now we can continue. The Wolves had no bullets.
In stadium sound.
I know. Facts.
ASOTV Arena Edition.
The guy who pulled a gun on Morgan had no bullets in his fucking gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Turd.
I was trying to figure out what that was about.
He was trying to play him because the whole point was he was the distraction. Because the other guy came out of the woods and was about to stab Morgan.
So do they just not use guns, or do they just run out of ammo?
They're probably just out of ammo. I mean, that's still going to be a smart thing to do, because who's going to call the bluff of you don't have bullets? Like, if somebody walked up to you with an empty gun and held a gun to your head, are you going to really take the chance that there's no bullets in there? You're going to believe that there's bullets in there.
Well, here's my other question. This is kind of random and off topic somewhat. Do the other guys that are part of the Wolves have this W tattooed or cut in their heads?
It didn't look like it was cut in. It looked like it was like, I don't want to say mud, but it looked like it was drawn in with something. Not exactly marker. It may have.
I thought it was a scar.
No, they carved it into their.
Was it a scar?
Yeah, it looked like a scar.
It didn't look very scar-like to me.
Oh, because it's fake.
No, those were scars. They cut them into their forehead.
It looked like black to me. I've never seen a black scar.
Well, you haven't watched The Lion King 2.
Yeah. Ashes.
But like, are they marking themselves at the same point? Or are they just marking victims? These two were just victims.
No, I think they're.
Right, that's a really good point. I think they're marking everything.
No,
they're marking everything like a dog pees on its property. They're marking everything.
Yeah, so these
their
two.
Territory.
Hold on, but these two in the beginning then are not part of the Wolves. they're probably people that have escaped. And that's why they have a gun with no bullets and a stupid knife. And they were trying to beat up Morgan.
I don't know. It could be a plan.
I don't think so.
Because the other two took Captain Redcoat and were able to easily dismiss him.
Wasn't that the same guys? That was the same guys.
I didn't think those were the same guys.
Yeah, no, that was the same guys.
Same men.
Yeah, because they had the control over the crates. Not the crates. The
trucks.
Trailers.
The trailers.
Yeah, they had the
They set the traps.
Because I thought they were two other guys, because I thought they were essentially dead because Morgan threw them in the car and the horn and let them run.
That's what they wanted you to believe.
They weren't dead.
No.
Well, the horn was to make sure there were no walkers around. He would have killed them if there were, because he's kind of like a Zen Buddhist now.
Yeah, he is totally Zen Buddhist. Yeah. Like, when he was going all bow staff on them, I'm like, oh, you don't fuck with a monk.
Which just made it super awkward. And I was like, oh, hey, Rick. Oh. Hey, Rick.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Anyway. So, yeah, the wolves, they seem to be not only marking their territory, but, like, giving blatant warnings in their traps. Because in the, on the side of that van that Daryl and Aaron were in,
yeah,
it said, wolves are not far.
Yeah.
It's the same writing, wolves not far.
I mean, we saw that at the very end, the post-credit scene,
yeah.
when the video, when it pans back over to the camera, and we see the car, and it says, you know, wolves not far, and then that message that was in the sea, I think that's where Clio's going, right?
Yeah, because that actually, now that I got the screen cap of it, it's not the same handwriting. It's whoever got caught in that trap that wrote it with a pen, and then they ran out of ink and used blood.
It was handy. Grandma was bleeding out, so.
Trap, bad people coming, don't stay.
Yep. So.
Sponsored by Sony. Down there.
Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Oh yeah, that's my TV. I took a really terrible just picture with my phone.
It's whatever.
But, yeah, that was written by whoever got stuck in the van. Whoever got stuck in that trap first.
Which sucks.
Or before.
For that. Unless it was staged, which it could have.
I mean, Daryl was all like, "Hey, let's hide stuff in the windows. Let's block them out." They didn't take like one attempt to even do that. They could have started ripping the seats apart and putting those in the windows. Like,
it would have been a waste of energy. There would have been no way to cover every window. They would have had to hold things up.
Yeah.
They didn't have.
They could have just ripped the seat covers off and put them over themselves.
Next time you're in a car, please try ripping a seat cover off with your bare hands.
Sitting on.
Or even a knife.
Daryl doesn't have a knife? I could do it with a knife.
Or even a knife. Yeah, go ahead, do it. See how heavy that is.
Okay,
Hold it up to the...
let me get in your car, Clio.
I don't own a car.
Alright, Dom, the next bus you get on.
The next bus. I'm sure public transportation would really appreciate that.
No, they won't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Life lessons.
So, what I was wondering at first was, is there someone in the Wolves who's writing these warnings? But I don't think that's what it is anymore. I think it's like they're saying, hey, we have a trap and you're going to fall for it anyway because we're really cocky.
Well, that's just it. I think that's just it.
Yeah.
I think if that was the case, though, they would have put something right on top of the trailer door that Daryl lifted up in the first place.
I don't think they want to make it that obvious, though, maybe.
I think it's once they set a trap. Like, once they finish setting the trap and somebody falls for it and they have to reset it, that's when they write it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. It's like their little victory speech.
This one was already used. Haha, we got somebody.
Because, I mean, like, even... You saw how dirty those trailers were. They were caked in dirt. Like, even if they took the time to just draw, like, a wolf face, like, in the trailer that Daryl was, like, lifting up, would have been really good. Even if it was just on the side.
I mean, I also don't think they're very creative or clever. I mean, obviously they're clever enough to set these traps, but...
They're savages.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, they're not evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They go back to their native roots, so to speak, of animalistic.
Yeah, they think they're coming back around to being wolves again, literally.
It's like, all right.
Cultural appropriations.
Yeah, I mean, like, because wolves would shift into humans.
Shapeshifter.
Yes.
Animorphs.
Shapeshifter.
Animorphs?
You never know. No.
Animorphs.
So Daryl and Aaron let that poncho guy just go.
Red Riding Hood.
What do you think's his deal? Because he ends up getting captured by the wolves in the end.
He
Oh,
died.
I think he was
Yeah, I know
just
he's
a
now,
red herring.
Or did he try and run away from the wolves and they just caught him?
I
A
know.
red fucking poncho. Good job.
He was throwing all that kind of like the leaves on him. That could have just been to actually mask his scent, not, you know.
That's true.
Well, Daryl said it's for the mosquitoes, probably.
Just
Yeah, but it could also be used to mask scent. And I mean, and I can't remember, but when I was looking up stuff, there were like images of actual wolves coming out, like actual. All right, yeah, they killed all those wolves, right?
the
dogs,
dogs,
yeah.
feral
The
dogs.
dogs, the feral dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the group, the wolves, actually had dogs. Or maybe they're actually shifters.
Animorph.
Could be a twist.
Or he was just a wandering vagrant idiot and was like, well, if I wear bright red, my friends will find me. Yeah.
I think it's just like because colors and stuff like that don't necessarily affect the zombies, and it may be to attract people. Maybe he's never run
Yeah.
into bad people before,
It's true.
you know?
He's gotten very lucky if that's the case.
It is.
I mean, he could.
Possible.
I mean, well, we know he wasn't like anyone from around Alexandria because Aaron didn't recognize him. So my thought was maybe he was an exile, but Aaron would have been like, "Oh, hey, I know him. That's Larry. We kicked him out." You
I'm
know?
almost positive at this point the wolves are the exiled, the people from Alexandria.
Well,
Oh my god, what if Negan's the woman?
I don't rule that out, but
What if they're gonna gender swap Negan?
They could.
And now it's Megan.
That would be amazing.
It would.
I mean, it'd be
It's
funny.
not Megan, it's Megan.
Because then they would be the group of three. It would be those two idiots and Negan,
Yeah.
who's the woman. Holy shit!
That would
That'd
be
be really
interesting.
rad.
I would I would like that. Yeah.
Pulling it out. I mean, it could be.
Have a lady villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carol was having a little bit of problem trusting Michonne.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well,
Because
Girls getting on my nerves.
hold on, I got this part. Because she fucking went and just knocked Rick in the head. Nobody likes her casseroles either, too.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
No shit's poison. But, like, I think it's because Michonne clocked out Rick, and it was more of, oh, well, you didn't let Rick finish off Porch Dick.
Yeah.
No, so
Porch
I
Dick.
think you're against us. You're not wanting to leave, you know, to kind of rule the society. When in all actuality, Michonne was just trying to put Rick in his place for a moment.
He's trying to save Rick from
Yeah.
himself.
Exactly, to save him.
Yeah.
Because to just kill Porch Dick, like a non-sanctioned murder, that would have been really bad.
I mean, she
Needed the go-ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love her threats.
Do it!
Do it.
I mean,
Kill him.
even watching the scene, because we started talking yesterday about that scene with Carol and the knife and going up to him or whatever, because we saw the clip on last week's Talking Dead. But
Oh, it
even
was
watching it a second time around, it was just as powerful. It was
Yeah,
a
as soon-
very, very good scene.
John, when we watched it tonight, we were like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he dropped the casserole, I was just like, yeah. You're ruining that dish.
He was put in his place by a woman
Fucking
and showed up.
no,
He
because
realizes he's a wimp and a weak loser.
the problem is usually people who act like that toward other people are weak themselves and are
Exactly.
trying to show that, oh, I'm strong.
Very
Yeah.
strong.
Look, I can pick on a squirrel. I'm strong.
I mean,
I
Right.
get
Carol
drunk
only
and beat
wanted
my
her-
wife and kid.
Carol only wanted her dish clean.
And the fucking guy drops it.
And you better bring it back clean.
Don't worry, guys. That's a Pyrex dish. It wouldn't have dropped from one. You wouldn't have broken from one fall.
I'm sorry, but in the time that Carol walked out the door and closed it to the time he just dropped the casserole, Carol should have still heard that and kicked the door down and came back in.
I think at that point she.
The fuck you do to my dish?
At that point, she was probably outside laughing at him because he's a little child, like, oh, I'm gonna wreck the house. Nothing's the way I want it to be.
This isn't my house. This isn't my house.
She should have really just
Where's
hucked
my
2
woman
eggs
to be?
I know. Oh my
at
god.
the house and be like, oh, sorry, here's your testicles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, jeez, he's the
He's
worst.
so I'm excited.
Okay, so
I mean, the only redeeming quality is that he is a surgeon. That's it.
Do your job.
And he's not even doing it well.
I know.
Well, he did save Tara, to be fair. Tara's alive.
Yeah, that is good.
Put tape on everybody else.
And I actually really enjoyed the little tiny one-sided conversation between Eugene and Abraham.
It was the absolute best.
It was adorable.
Eugene is a precious little baby.
He is, and I mean, like, anybody else in Eugene's position probably would not have given Abraham the time of day.
No.
But not only did he talk to him and apologize and basically told Abraham that it wasn't his fault, that Eugene is the reason that he made him do that in the first place. And, you know.
And my favorite part about that was Eugene saying, Abraham, you are the reason we are here. I gave you a kick in the ass, but you are the reason we're here.
Yeah, Eugene was the motivator.
Yeah.
He really was. Even though he might have been lying.
Yeah.
Well, his lie was the motivation.
Exactly.
I just wanted to point something out that I found a little silly. They couldn't find any other house for Porch Dick to go in besides the one that's within complete fucking eye shot of his wife's house. Like, motherfucker. Like, you couldn't swap them across town.
There are, what, 10
There's like
houses?
no house. No, I know. But I was
There are
like,
10 houses. That is, I bet you that's the furthest they could put him.
I guess. Yeah.
Because there probably isn't really many empty houses.
People could have traded.
I don't know.
Where to store your Porch Dick with TLC. That's free. That's for you, TLC. You can take it.
Renovate this porch dick.
Which, funny enough, the actor said he doesn't even have a porch.
I know! Oh my god, the Ballad of Porch Dick is the best thing ever.
I have to check that out.
He said, but if he did have one, it would be a wraparound.
It would be a wraparound.
Oh, it's so, and they put it on the Nerdist channel, and he was talking about Chris Hardwick, and I was just like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so good. It was so good.
Oh my god. It was truly magical. But Porch Dick was not funny in this episode. He was all serious.
All serious.
Business.
Oh, he's
he cut right to the point.
Huh?
This guy.
You're full of it today, Dom. You are full of it.
Full of something.
Full of something.
My foot in your ass.
Carol might not have trusted Michele, but Rick did, and obviously it was the right move, because she's like, yeah, I saved you from yourself. Could you calm down? Everything's fine because of me. Like,
I wanted them to kiss. I thought it was gonna happen.
No.
It's like, okay, well, here's my gun.
That was not what I was feeling in that scene.
I was like, kiss.
That was not what I was.
See, that's one of the key things that they did change from the comics is Michonne humped everything with legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, except for walkers.
I'm very, very happy about that.
I forgot about that in the comics.
Because it to me, makes her character more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like her better this way.
Yeah, me too. Plus, the actress knocks it out of the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every damn day. Excuse me. So, Glenn and Road Bump.
Oh.
Is that what we call them?
Speed bump.
Road Bump? Speed Bump.
Speed bump.
Speed Bump. Glenn and Speed Bump. Yo, listen, I would have shot that fucker.
You would have been dead.
Oh my God, I was like, why are you freaking stalling?
I wouldn't have shot him.
Are you kidding me?
I
Glenn
wouldn't
is a
have
better man than I.
put a bullet on his ass. I would have fucking taken a rock.
Yeah.
But I'm actually okay with him not killing Speed Bump, because if Glenn had killed him right after Noah died, like just beat him till he was dead, or left him, you know, like that would I feel would not have really tarnished Glenn's character. But if he just shot him in the face, I feel like at that point a part of Glenn would have died.
Yeah.
I think I would have shot him in the face.
I think Raul Candalis from chat would have shot him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a majority of us would have shot him in the face, but I think we're talking about Glenn, and Glenn is a better man than all of us.
How many times did Speed Bump have to try to kill him for him to finally just get to a point of just snapping? Like, what is it, like 4 times, Glenn?
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
You already tried 3. What is it, 1 more time?
Because they pushing his buttons.
I'm scared. Well, you don't have to shoot me, you ass.
You should be scared.
Fucking douchebag.
Be scared.
Like,
Definitely be afraid, yeah.
what did he think
I
was...
literally can't clap enough about this.
Oh.
I don't know, but now it's just like, you're coming with me, garbage. That's not my name. Your name's now garbage.
Yeah.
No, that's sort of like, I'm going to haul you off and throw you in jail.
Throw you into a pit and let zombies just eat you.
The beauty is he's gonna bring Speed Bump back. And he's gonna be like, hey, you tell Deanna that you're a fucking idiot and you're the reason why your son died.
Yes.
You're the reason why everybody's been dying on these runs.
You're
It's not...
pull a gun on him.
It's me.
And what we see at the end of the episode between Porch Dick and Rick, and you know, and she's just like, Rick, do it. So now we're coming back when the show comes back and we deal with the aftermath of Speed Bump. I think it's going to be a very similar situation. You're the guy that got my son killed, Rick, you know, or Glenn or whoever.
Fine. This is my thing, and this is where it's kind of coming full circle.
Deanna's changed now.
We have Captain Gabriel, you stupid priest bastard, who decides to kind of turn on everybody and get Deanna to start thinking, whoa, maybe Rick and this crew is kind of harmful, and they're trying to, you know,
detrimental to the rest
trying to kill us all. Then Rick goes and swings his gun, and now she's like, oh, it's definite. I want to kick him out. And then all of a sudden you get...
I gotta look at this, though. I gotta look at this from Father Gabriel's point of view. Like, Father Gabriel, he may have worded it wrong. His intentions were not the worst at the time. Like, we've seen right now some other stuff has been going on through his head. But he should have gone to Deanna and said, look, I have some concerns with them. They've done these things, you know, whatever. You know, he could have admitted he was at fault too, you know, but...
The point of his coming to Deanna with that was because he was feeling guilty for the bad things he did. And because he didn't actually kill anybody, he felt that he wanted to feel better about himself. So he was like, these people are bad. Like, it did not come from a place of, yeah, you should worry about these people. It came from a place of, you should be worrying about me. Let me throw suspicion off myself and put it on these people.
I don't know.
It's purely selfish.
They all done things. Their group. Done things.
Captain Dumbass. I'm gonna call him Captain Dumbass from now on because, frankly, Gabe doesn't deserve anything else but the Dumbass Award. Goes out there, finally kills a stupid walker. Congratulations. Finally pulls it off. But in turn. No, that guy was turning. He wasn't exactly complete. But then decides to leave the door wide open for walkers to come in. And then try to, like, fuck with Sasha and almost kill her in the process.
Sorry, no.
I mean,
did
Gabriel leave the door open intentionally?
Yes.
No, he was in a stupor. He didn't know what was going on. Like, maybe it is definitely his fault, his negligence.
Oh, 100%. I'm not doubting that.
But also, Spencer.
He closed it. He closed it.
Spencer's a fucking idiot.
Spencer should have closed the door. There was nobody on guard. That's a problem.
He slammed that door.
Spencer was 5 feet from the door.
But he slammed it and didn't put the lock in.
He didn't lock it.
I understand that, but keep in mind, Pat, how many times has Father Gabriel opened and closed that door?
Never.
0.
That's the first time he went out.
He pushed Sasha. I mean, that's such a dick. He pushed her to, and my misery. Oh, okay.
I'm not sticking up for Father Gabriel, but I don't believe he left the door open intentionally. I think it was just
I don't think so either.
negligence.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But to go back to my original topic before the whole tangent on Gabriel, you have Gabriel...
You had an original topic?
Yeah, I know. I had one at one point. You had Gabriel kind of trying to say, cast out Rick pulling his dumbass move, but then all of a sudden you get Porch Dick actually showing that he's the bigger asshole, and Rick's just trying to save them and trying to make them stronger by looking and saying, hey, society is not just black and white. It's not just good and evil. You got to be prepared for anybody to turn on you.
Yeah.
And then now Glenn's going to come in with this stupid speed bump and say, hey, look, this guy who's been your group the whole time has been lying and gotten people killed constantly. Like,
the question I have is Speed Bump going to continue to lie? Because, like, they came back from losing Aiden and Noah, and he's just like, it was Glenn's fault.
No, it's worked for him so far.
I don't think he'll lie now that Glenn saved him instead of killing him.
No, I think he'll lie again. I 100% think he'll lie again.
I can see him lying,
but here's the thing. Deanna is now very changed. So she's probably going to be a little more open to hearing out Rick's people than she had been in the past.
Well, think about it. She lost her son and...
Well, no, I don't think he'll lie because Glenn won't let him lie.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because
last time she wouldn't listen to what Glenn had to say.
Yeah. If you lie and, don't tell the truth on this shit, I will kill you. We'll go out in the woods and we'll end it and be like, oh, Walker got him.
I mean, he could lie, but then never leave Deanna's sight, so Glenn couldn't kill him.
Rick shot Porch Dick in front of everybody. There's not going to be any take him out back. It's going to be in front of everyone. If there is an execution, it's going to be public.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Show how much of a coward he is. I mean, Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that execution had to be public because, quite frankly, it was her husband. Yeah. She was not going to let him go any farther.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, my.
So, Deanna very, very quickly changed her tune.
She did.
Was that... I mean, obviously, it's what we all wanted, and I was sitting there with the biggest grin when she gave the order, but...
Do it!
Was that...
Do it.
The best, the smartest, the most...
No.
It was clearly an impulse decision.
Impulse decision.
As soon as her husband died, there was red in her eyes.
Because everybody else flipped the shit.
Protective mode. Well, everybody...
Dearest Reginald has been slain. Slaughter him.
Like, not only was it an impulse decision, but it inadvertently gave Rick's group the power back.
Yep.
Yep.
Because she didn't have to, because Abraham had him.
Yeah.
He wasn't going anywhere. They could have imprisoned him, like he could, they did not have to do that.
But I mean, it was the buildup. Like, you saw Deanna, like, the way she was listening intently into, like, everybody describing Rick. And then, she says what she says about Father Gabriel. And then Rick comes in and throws the zombie on the ground and makes this statement of how they need to change and, all this stuff. And then we see this. So it's kind of Deanna agreeing with Rick. Things need to change. They're going to change right here, right now.
And starting with him.
But I think at the same point it was an impulse because, quite frankly, it was an accident. If you look at how he got killed, it was sheerly he was trying...
He ran into my knife.
Yeah.
And in turn...
It wasn't his knife. It was Michonne's sword.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it being an accident, he came there to kill Rick with a sword.
Yes.
It was attempted murder turned murder. I mean...
Well, yeah, I don't think he intentionally meant to kill Deanna's husband.
Anybody else.
But he clearly didn't give a shit when he was on the floor bleeding out. He was still yelling about Rick. He did not give a shit.
No,
I think he was on something a little more than alcohol.
Probably.
He took some PCP. I don't know where the fuck he got that.
He found angel dust in the zombie apocalypse.
He was on
They
something
found about 32 cases of Monster Energy, and he drank them all at once, and then he was pissing crystal meth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
Drink, wait, what is it? Drink
And
10
then-
5-hour energies for 50 hours of continuous
And
energy.
then Dom called him a wayfish amateur,
it's true.
and then watched his ass get killed.
Wayfish
happened.
amateur.
But by the way, do you like the new color of the Monster Energy can? It's totally
For Deanna's husband.
See through?
yes, it's totally see-through. The can is invisible.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Totally.
So yeah, let's talk about the sword.
Yes.
Michonne's sword. Also, does nobody lock their doors in this fucking neighborhood?
Say, or does that show that
Apparently
people might
not.
actually just
Well,
go in places?
okay, I can understand having the whatever. Do they have like a blacksmith, keysmith?
That's a good
Like,
question.
They had a Home Depot.
They had a Home
So-
Depot, so they probably do
Yeah.
have access to keys, but they definitely don't have enough access to give everyone copies of these keys. And keep in mind, how many people are living in Rick's house?
Like 20.
So going to Home Depot and buying the standard issue doors, they probably have maybe 2 sets of keys.
I made up the Home Depot thing.
Well,
No, but legit bringing that in.
Yeah. Or if these were houses that they didn't build, if some of these
Okay,
houses
so-
were there to begin with,
Never.
then they may not have the keys at all.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a superior question.
Okay.
Fucking porch stick never showed up. Would they have been on Rick's side?
No.
Huh.
I mean, but
That's-
Rick already had some evidence at his back. He
Right.
brought in a walker. He was like, you guys are incompetent. This thing could have killed you, and you never would have known it.
no one was blocking the gate. He even said it. He's like, "Who's?"
Yeah,
blocking
and
the
then
gate?
all of a
Guarding?"
sudden he goes and runs.
Nobody.
Oh crap! You should have gotten the gate. I'll be back.
I mean,
Oh.
Wait, so Spencer left?
Spencer
Yeah.
dipped his... yeah.
So
Oh,
Spencer
yeah, he
wasn't
took off
there to
running.
see his father get killed.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
as soon as they saw that,
They have a good family. Good and healthy family.
oh
yeah, I mean, you saw how well they handled Aiden's death. I think it might be worse.
Hey,
with
you want to
father.
sit around and listen to 9 Inch Nails? Yeah. Let's light some candles, Mom.
Turn that shit
Turn that off.
Turn that shit up.
Turn that shit up!
Yeah, it's the new Sweet Home Alabama. Turn that shit up.
But yeah, so Porch Stick stole Michonne's sword and
Yeah.
murdered a dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's... And then at the end of the episode, Michonne takes the sword back, so she's wearing the sword again.
Mhm.
yeah. She decided.
Well,
to
she
put it
yeah,
on the wall.
she goes to hang it up on the mantle, but then she's like,
Nah,
"Look what happened last time that I wasn't holding this,"
Yeah.
you know, and she
Yeah.
sheathes
She's-
her sword. So
She has to keep it safe.
part of her and keep it on her.
Yeah.
Protect.
Because she definitely is feeling guilty over this.
Oh yeah.
It's her weapon. I think it's more. It's like, I have let this sword is a responsibility. It's a weapon. I should not have left it. It needs to be on me. I need to have it.
I think before she was seeing it as a burden,
Oh,
You know,
She
all
was
her-
seeing it as a crutch.
well, she was
and now
trying-
it's now she's seeing it as well. It's also my responsibility.
Well, she was trying to get used to living into this society, and then she thought maybe, okay, let me put this on the back burner right now. This is part of, being out in the woods, survival.
yeah, but I mean, like the whole thing that even happened in the first place with the ending, it was just like a series of events that is like Lemony Snicket over here. It's a series of unfortunate events where, like, so Sasha wasn't up in the tower watching guard or whatever. That guy walked away from the door. Porch Stick grabbed the sword. It was like all this stuff just happened to all be bad and came together at once.
Yeah.
But like, look what happens now. Like, because unless they're on par, and the wolves, if the wolves are really headed this way, like, you may dismiss them because, oh, what have they done? They've set booby traps. How many people out there are setting walker booby traps? The last person we saw with a walker booby trap was the governor.
Yeah.
I am not.
Yeah.
And the governor's was really crude. Like, these are really intricate. these traps. And I'm not dismissing the wolves because all they've done is traps, because we saw the devastation from the other community.
No, they've been releasing dozens of walkers into the wild. Like, they've claimed a lot of walkers. Like, they're not just sitting idly by.
No, I'm not saying that either.
Obviously, we've seen the brutality in the woods, too, with the last episode, what they do to people.
So their presence is known.
But I don't think that the walkers, I don't think they have set that many walkers to roam around free. Because we've only seen 2 or 3 that aren't already dead.
Well,
did the ones that came into the camp have W's on them?
Nope.
No, they didn't.
No.
But the one, well, they had another trap where they had that first truck full of torsos. Remember?
Yes.
So this isn't the first trap we've seen from them either.
No. And they've clearly raided towns before, because Noah's community was wrecked.
It's gone. So
it's not like they don't know what they're doing, but...
And they have heavy artillery.
Of
some kind. They must. Or they have a lot of grenades.
I would say, or
something. Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry.
They have some kind of weaponry that's really, really explosive.
And they went at Morgan with an unloaded gun.
With a fucking gun and a kukri.
Which makes me think, like, what are they doing? Like, they're on both ends of the spectrum seemingly simultaneously.
They might have blown their load on Noah's town, and then we're like,
Maybe. But yeah, I actually wrote the part of my notes for the whole meeting events is just meeting from hell.
It's pretty accurate. The thing that I'm looking the most forward to now going into next season is how Morgan is, like how he got to the point that he's at.
How he's a
Buddhist
monk.
Yeah.
How
he's found the path to enlightenment.
You don't just learn how to swing a staff by walking out in the world and swinging at a couple zombies. Not to that caliber. So I feel like he met like a martial artist somewhere and like trained with him.
He found Mr. Miyagi somewhere in the Georgia area.
He climbed Mount Fuji.
He's very cool to see the history.
It's snowing on Mount Fuji.
On Mount Fuji.
When we saw him to live now, it'll be very, very interesting to see his history.
Yeah, we've only gotten a couple of sentences out of him, and they do seem like zen and chill, like the sentences he said, even with a gun in his face.
Yeah,
really.
Super zen.
Like, I don't want to beat the shit out of you. I really don't.
I will.
But
I think he knew the whole time too. That guy was behind him.
Yeah, or at least he knew when he was lunging. You know.
You can take my crap. You can take everything I have, but you're not taking me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and the level of detail too that they took as precaution work to keep Morgan a secret for the finale and everything was just incredible. It said that it took him 3 months to be able to learn the fight scene that we saw.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was insane. And he said he trained for it was 3 weeks, 3 times a week for 3 months or something like that. It was insane. But the hotel that he stayed at, he couldn't stay in the one with all the rest of the cast. There's another place that they sometimes put the cast up. He couldn't stay there, and he went to like some really like low key area at like an old couple's like privately owned bed and breakfast.
Oh my God.
And they had to sign like a confidentiality waiver, and there was one other guest there, and they had to sign it because their stays overlapped. And when the guest ended up seeing him, said to him, "Oh, so you're the reason why," and he didn't realize that they had to sign a confidentiality agreement.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Why was he though like separated from the rest of the
because if anybody sees him down in the Atlanta or whatever where they're filming, you know, then they're gonna realize that he's gonna be on the show.
Right.
They probably filmed a lot of his stuff a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey.
So I realized we didn't really talk about Sasha and Gabriel.
Mm.
We talked about them individually.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
What?
She laid on a pile of dead bodies. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Like,
When she was burying the bodies, I'm like, oh, Sasha, you're gonna feel feelings. Good, you gotta just feel them. And then she lays down in the pile of bodies. I'm like, no, not those feelings. Not those. No.
I'm a corpse.
No.
Stop it.
Nope.
One of them.
No.
I think the imagery there, like, she felt like she.
Holy shit, yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, she saw herself in the zombies. I think that's kind of what's going on.
I agree.
She is the Walking Dead.
She lost a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just completely emotionally drained.
She tapped out.
She's trying to figure it out, I think, but.
I just like that one shot of Sasha, Gabriel, and Maggie like praying together. She comes in and she's like, "Do I really have to teach you, a priest, how to talk to God? Like, is this what's happening right now?"
Love how Maggie just came in though and like just de-escalated that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, guys.
Well,
Nope.
you know, she has the ability to de-escalate because she's not in fucking Glenn panic yet.
No, I know.
She
No, as
will
soon as
be.
she finds out what happens to Glenn, I think she's gonna be the one to kill Speed Bump.
Is that me? I'll fucking kill me.
Is that me stronger than me?
Gina.
Yeah, it wasn't until Lenny James was on Talking Dead that I realized exactly who he was, because as soon as I heard him speak, I was like, oh, that's Baptiste from Human Target. Like, I was like, oh my god, I recognized him. Like, he had the very short episodes, like a 3-episode kind of story arc in that TV series, and he was like a really kind of important character. And he used his actual English accent on that show. And
Is he English?
yes, he is. And Morgan has never used, the character Morgan doesn't have an English accent, obviously, on The Walking Dead. So I didn't connect the two. Like, it totally blew my mind.
It's amazing.
Holy shit, you're British?
Yeah, that was the opening comment on Talking Dead.
That was trending on Twitter for a while.
British too. The actress who plays Maggie, she's British too.
She's Australian.
Australian?
Yeah.
Aussie.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought she was British, but she could still block her, and do a good decent Southern accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, but no, Sasha and what's his name? Gabriel. I almost want to say Gabriel found peace at the end, and I think that's gonna help Sasha too. Like, I think them all coming together. I think this is gonna solve all their demons that they've been wrestling with.
Yeah.
I think they had to let it out the way they did,
Well, because the way that Gabriel like threw everything in Sasha's face, like very blatantly, like gave it to her straight up, no bullshit. Like, as painful as that was, I think she needed to hear it.
Well,
no, that wasn't true.
But this is the
not
thing.
All entirely
Tyrese
true.
didn't deserve to die. He was saying all of this shit that wasn't true.
But this is the thing.
He wanted to die.
I still think she needed to hear that, though. That's my point. I'm not saying that it was true, because it's letting the rage out. It's
you did say it was true.
No, I said it's partially true.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Partially.
fine.
Look,
whatever. Go on.
Regardless.
But like, it's bringing the rage. It's bringing the human emotion back to her. It's bringing feelings back into her that she can actually feel instead of this numbness.
But
Like, she's been an empty shell of a person. Now she's filled with emotion, be it rage, anger, whatever. It's still human emotion.
She was this face the whole time. But the thing is, she was thinking that of herself. She was already blaming herself for Tyrese and for Bob. So Gabriel, I think, not only threw it in her face, but showed, kind of like explicitly said her own thoughts and feelings back to her and reflected that to her without knowing it, because she totally blamed herself for their deaths. I mean, she absolutely did. She blamed herself for Noah's death too. So she was carrying that burden. So
but was Gabriel blaming her? I thought Gabriel was blaming them.
Oh God, yes. No, he was blaming her directly for Bob and Tyrese's death.
I thought he said that it was Tyrese's fault.
He said that your sin caused Bob's death.
Tyrese, you guys didn't deserve to live. That's
well,
why
he said her, but I thought
Bob.
he said that such and such was Tyrese's fault. Like, I thought he was blaming them.
No, he blamed her, and
everything because of her.
And that's why I think it clicked with her, is because she was thinking that already about herself. She just never really could hear it. She needed to kind of reflect it back at her to kind of
But then it made her
get
snap.
that and see it.
Dare say that? Oh man, I would have funny.
Not that he should have done it, but it
especially in the
wound up working.
The frame of mind that she was in, he definitely shouldn't have said it.
Oh God, no! But he was suicidal, so he just wanted an easy way out. But because he was too
walked
cowardly.
outside with no weapons.
He's too cowardly to kill himself, so he figured he'd just let someone else. Let Jesus take the wheel.
And he couldn't even let that happen.
No.
I know. When he was out there, yeah.
Yeah. No, he wanted Sasha to kill him. He was goading her into killing him.
First he tried with the zombie, and that didn't work, and then
Then he tried another zombie, but
he needed a more active.
Yeah, seeing him actually kill a zombie with his own bare hands was kind of incredible.
Yeah.
It shows.
I was really surprised. I thought he was just gonna die.
Yeah, I thought he was just literally gonna go there and be like, "Okay, kill me.
Just eat me.
Just eat me."
Until the very last second was what he wanted. Yeah.
He's like, by a zombie? Yeah, never mind. On second thought, I'd rather have somebody else go.
Oh, I take it back!
Not a zombie. Rather have a bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's... Oh, the last thing that we haven't said yet is... Oh, no, I think we did say it. Morgan comes in at the end and is like, I see you are murdering people now.
Yeah, just looking...
Rick.
The look on Morgan's face after, like... Rick pops porch dick and then like whips around and there's Morgan just looking at him, and Morgan's kind of like made this big deal about saving people and like all this stuff with Daryl and you know how lives are important and value this, value that, and then we see Rick kill this guy, and it's just like
oh hey.
Now, I'm curious if this is going to be Morgan losing faith in Rick or Morgan trying to help Rick the way Rick helped Morgan in episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
but I mean,
the latter.
Yeah.
I'm also not sure that... I don't think Rick's not in the same place Morgan was in. It wouldn't be the same kind of help.
Not
but
originally. Originally, Morgan was just having trouble dealing with things. The first time we saw him was... right, he didn't want to kill his wife, kind of thing.
Yes.
Right,
yeah.
And then
the second time
Morgan was batshit crazy.
Yeah, he was broken.
Well,
so Rick's somewhere in the middle of that.
He doesn't have to be broken for Morgan to help him. Morgan has a new perspective. He can help Rick in a different way, but the relationship might maybe shift to be in that same regard, where Rick is the student and Morgan's the mentor. So.
Right.
But I don't think it'll just be Morgan that's against what Rick's done. I mean, I definitely think Glenn, maybe Daryl, people are going to be like, maybe not the best thing to have done.
Well, if you watch The Talking Dead, they were like, they asked, like, I think they asked Norman Reedus, like, what was Daryl thinking when he saw all that? It's like, he was like, well, Daryl probably thought, like, oh, it's on, we're taking over. Cool.
Cool. So my big question,
we fighting? Oh, we fighting.
My big question is, we have Morgan. We have Michonne, and then after tonight we see Daryl with the chain nunchucks. Where's Raphael?
Oh my God! We need the kunais.
We're missing one of the 4 Ninja Turtles. We got 3 of them already.
The size, yes.
It's a ninja weapon. I was close.
How dare you? He's my favorite.
And does that who would be Master Splinter? Is that Deanna?
No.
No way.
Who's the most rat-like? Gabriel. No, I could see Carl wielding size, and Master Gabriel could be like the. He could be the
worst ninja ever.
The worst ninja.
And Carl's girlfriend is totally in the Foot Clan. Just saying.
And Judith can be April.
That's where she keeps sneaking off to.
Actually, we didn't mention this because if the wolves are the 3 exiles, she was with them. Because when the kids were hanging out, they were saying, "Oh yeah, her people got booted."
Yeah.
So if the wolves end up being those 3, then she was with them.
She could. Yeah, I was just gonna say she could be part of
them. She could be sneaking shit out.
For all we know.
Yeah, because she's been sneaking for as long as she's been in there. Like we can surmise.
And all she told Carl was, "I just come out here to run." That's all he knows.
Yeah.
So.
Which is only a lie by omission.
Exactly.
It is a lie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be relationships are changing.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting.
But Daryl and Carol are still getting their shit shipped out of them, so.
Yeah.
Dynamics are definitely.
And what about Rick and Jesse? Where's that going? Where's that going to go now?
I honestly don't care. Portia is gone. It could go wherever it wants.
It doesn't matter anymore.
No, but I'm saying, is Jesse's feelings toward Rick going to change because he murdered her husband in front of her?
I don't know, but you know.
It's a turn on for me. I don't know about you.
I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
You kill my husband, I'll just bang the shit out of you.
Jump phones right here, man. Right here, right now.
I'll actually have to give Mike a heads up about that.
Okay.
John Mike, trying to get you killed?
No. Not yet, at least.
I think maybe she might.
I still gotta let Nikki borrow him for a little while longer.
Who knows?
Wow. I don't know. Like, I'm just... Oh, wait. I forgot to talk about the spinoff.
Please.
What's the name? It's something dumb.
This summer.
Fear the Walking Dead or something?
Yeah.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
It's a dumb name. It's dumb.
To the Googles.
Or Fear.
This would take place in LA.
Walking Dead.
Huh?
Fear the Walking Dead, yes.
Fear, yeah.
It will take place in LA.
It's a dumb title.
2015.
I mean, the little teaser that they put out seems really cool. They didn't show a whole lot of it, but it's literally the very outbreak of the virus. Like, we're getting, all we hear is like a news report over the radio or the television or something. We don't exactly, I think it was over like a car radio.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like there's been a new virus going around. People are just starting to show symptoms or whatever. Make sure
like
to go to the doctor
symptoms.
and get checked out, kind of thing.
Yep. Warning, like, hey, this might be.
It just looked like the flu, because that's kind of, I guess, what happened.
I mean, we've seen people start to get sick. We saw the whole thing in the prison, the infirmary, and people coming down with just, like, getting the actual virus and
they get a fever and they burn out.
Yeah.
That's it, and it happens pretty quick.
So.
They get real high fever, and then they die.
Looks very interesting. Production and filming, I believe, is starting now, so it's coming out this summer. Stay tuned for more info. We'll probably be covering it.
I wonder if they'll show anybody from Walking Dead, maybe a little bit.
It's already the only thing that we know. I don't actually even know how many episodes is in a season, but the only thing we know is it's been picked up for 2 seasons already.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, so regardless of how well the first season does, it is still going into the second season.
Wow, that's great.
So. Yeah, so
I'm
sure they have faith in it.
They have a plan. They know what direction it's going. So I'm going to say at first, probably no crossovers whatsoever.
Right.
Later on, if this goes into 2nd, 3rd, 4th season, there's possibilities for that.
I was thinking, like, maybe we're like right before Rick wakes up in the hospital. Maybe.
Looking at The Walking Dead,
it's 6 episodes.
They never left Georgia, and this new show is taking place in LA.
Yeah, that's true.
If Rick's group has never left Georgia, I doubt many people have gone that far.
No, they're not gonna.
Well, I'm just saying, let's take for example. I know this is not true, but I'm saying for example, let's say the governor was in LA. He was on a vacation. He was on a trip. He was there. We know he's not from LA, but if he was on vacation, and he could be there in a scene, there's any of these characters could have been on vacation, you know.
It's too soon, though. They would have had to hop a flight back mid-apocalypse.
We could see somebody at an airport getting on a plane to go back home.
But then that would
little
have to be
cameos. I'm not talking about major plot things.
But
but
that would
there
have
can
to
be
be
crossovers.
the first episode, because once the virus breaks, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think the virus is just going to be contained to all of a sudden zombies are loose after the first episode and the whole.
No,
I think this whole series is going to be the slow buildup of the full virus. I don't think it's just going to be hey guys, the first episode is setting the stage and now there's zombies everywhere for the rest of the thing. I think this is going to be very slowly kind of medically built up.
I think it could go both ways.
Like, oh my god, here's patient 0, let's contain him, and then everything else seems fine, but now it's slowly spreading elsewhere, and let's grab these people and contain them, and it doesn't necessarily have to be there's zombies running fucking everywhere by the second episode.
Kind of like what they do with Ebola, with people.
Yeah, this I think is going to really focus on more of the origin, and it's slowly spreading than it just being this epic, ridiculous pandemic.
But I don't think that we're going to have any of our guys involved, because it wouldn't be, the timelines don't match up at all for any of the characters in the Atlanta area. I mean,
well, that's what I said. It could be something where they're on a vacation. I'm not saying it's going to. It's very slim that
unless
they're going
it's like way in the past, before the outbreak.
Yeah, that's like what this is. This is before the outbreak. That's what this is.
Or like you even said, if it gets into like season 3.
This show is not taking place during the current timeline. This is a prequel.
No, I know, but it's not that far ahead of the first season of The Walking Dead.
That's what I was just saying. Like
it's not. It's maybe a month or two. So there's an off chance, but I think they want this to be its own thing. I think that what they might do is maybe reference like the CDC, because that's in Atlanta. So maybe we might like see that, like see what was going on at the CDC before, Asshat blew it up.
Because the reason why I say airport or whatever, and probably not one of our main cast members, but somebody that they bumped into very well could, because if you start thinking of it, for something like this to spread, it's not going to all of a sudden be in LA one night and then it just hit the globe. Like, it's just like, boom, widespread, just like that. It's going to take people that were in contact with people traveling. And that's how it started off here, and now somebody flew down to... They were flying to Florida, they landed in Atlanta airport, whatever, and now it's spread there, and that's how it's going to start going. So I'm not saying we're going to see Rick in the background boarding a plane. Something like that, Glenn, something would be kind of cool. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But somebody else, a character that we bumped into, very well could.
Like a very minor character.
Yes.
Like, yes. Yeah. No, I get it. Or somebody who we did see.
Like man or other man.
Or like people who were working at the CDC before Asshat blew it up.
I think it's going to be quite a while till we see more than like 2 or 3 zombies in an episode of this spinoff. I can almost guarantee you that we're not going to be seeing like more than one zombie. I'd be actually kind of surprised if we saw a full-fledged zombie in even the first episode.
Yeah, like one. Like we might see symptoms, but that's about it. Yeah.
It is only 6 episodes, though.
So the first season is only 6?
Yeah.
I know, but you got to think, though, if this is a 2-season show, right, and this is telling the origin of it, the whole thing is this is a prequel. If all of a sudden it's full-fledged zombies, they're no longer a prequel anymore.
It's no longer a prequel.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just like the first season of Walking Dead, I think, was only like 8 episodes.
It was 6.
And it really seemed, from the way the preview showed, it really seemed to be focusing on like one family.
Yeah,
so I think it's gonna like follow this particular family through and like, have things slowly start breaking out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. John, where can the people find you?
Nowhere. I'm not anywhere.
Excellent. Dom, where can the people find you? Awesome. Pat, Michele, where can the people find you?
Nowhere! In space! Nowhere!
You can also find me nowhere.
Nowhere.
No, absolutely
you don't get to
nowhere.
fucking plug anything.
At Cliomoto. And on Twitch at The Cliomoto. You can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows.
Yeah.
Until next season.
Till the summer.
Till the summer.
That's technically the next
season.
Yeah, until next summer you could find us nowhere.
Nowhere.
Definitely not here.
Nope.